Good afternoon again, and I call your attention back to our update on the stimulus programs, and especially news that came out late yesterday. The SBA issued the second interim final act on the payroll protection program. And in this second final piece of paper, we have some information on Schedule Cs and self-employed people that I've done a YouTube on earlier. But this one I want to talk about partners, guaranteed partnerships, and things that we've been in the dark about completely. There's been a suggestion that each partner who receives guaranteed pay should file their own application. There have been suggestions that we use the K-1. There have been suggestions that it just wasn't going to work at all for partners. And we now have information more specifically about this. It's not a great deal of information, but I think it's enough to let us know where we go and what we're going to be doing for our clients and for those of you who are partners in a partnership or in a limited liability company. This is very common these days, and a guaranteed payment to a partner is the way that a partner gets paid. The IRS has said that this will be treated much like the self-employment situation. The loans will be given to the partnership and not to the partners, and they say that this makes more sense. I agree, because the partners do not pay the expenses. They do not individually sit down and each one write out a payroll check to each person. They do not do that for their rent. They do not do that for their utilities. Instead, the partnership pays all of those bills, and the partnership in fact also pays for the partner's salary. The partner's salary then, it doesn't go on a W-2, it doesn't go on a 941, which is what the banks have been asking for. But now we have guidance that if we can show that this income was self-employed income, that we in fact consider this to be like wages, then this will be considered as payroll. Now, the second interim final rule did not state specifically the form K-1, which those of you who are in partnerships are familiar with, but that's the place where you will see earnings from self-employment. And on line 14 of your K-1, you'll find a figure there that is what you're being taxed on for self-employment tax. That amount rolls over into your personal return and appears on the 1040 Schedule SE. There may be adjustments to it, but basically those are the two places where we can find the numbers. I'm suggesting that those are the items that you will submit with your application. Actually, the interim guidance says that you will be required to submit the full copy of your 2019 return even if you haven't filed it. But at least the Schedule SE will show the amount of earned income that you have, and it should correspond to what's in that box 14 on your Schedule K-1. That there may be other information that is requested by the lender, but those are the figures that you count for the payroll. So if you are a partner and you have other employees, then you're going to take that amount and add to the wages of the other employees, except that you can't go above $100,000 on any employee, and that includes the partner. So you're limited at the $100,000 mark. You can add the health insurance, the benefits, all of the things we've gone through on payroll costs, and I'm happy to go through those again, and I think tomorrow's will be a recap of what we've been talking about. And that will become then the basis for the loan. Divide the amount by 12 times 2.5. That's the amount of the loan that you can get. Find a bank that's still open, still taking applications. The last I heard, there was $349 billion allocated, and there were applications requesting $383 billion. I don't know how they're going to deal with that difference. I'm just assuming that they'll figure out a way on it. But this is very good news for us with customers and clients, and if you are a partner in a partnership as I am, knowing that now we at least are not just left out in the cold and said you just don't count for anything. Instead, we have a way to use the income that you've earned and paid self-employment tax on and count that towards this PPP loan, a part of which will be forgiven, perhaps all of it. Hope this has been helpful. Some of this information will, in fact, more of this information will be on our website, www.vaughncpa.com. Have a good evening.